It's 4 o'clock on a Monday, and you know what that means. It's crazy time in Crazy Town, and another exciting episode of Taxi TV Live. There's that edit. Oh, look at that. Pinning the meter. Woo! Thank you, fake band. Thank you, fake audience. And hello, everybody. I moved stuff around on my desk today. I'm completely and utterly disoriented. I put things where they normally don't go because thought I'd try something new, you know? It's kind of like spring cleaning for Taxi TV. There we go. There's that chat room. Hi, you guys. We've got Lee Lewis, Martin Frog, Monkey Thomas. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Ernst in the studio. Peter Rayhill. By the way, Rayhill. I haven't gotten to this yet because I was out of town last week, but I will. I promise. Let's see. Glenn Fentamulonis, Vicky Flower. They're going by too quickly. Glenn Johnson, Linda Cullum, Isaac Leith, Jim Ferry, Jesse Chapters Publishing, Pat Wara. Hey, Pat. Robbie Hancock. Hey, Rob. Neil McTavish. Yeah, I just saw a picture of your house with snow all over the place moments ago. Paulie, okay. Dave Freeland, hello everybody. Skadika Productions. Okay, so this week we are going to listen to music that was submitted for what is probably the single largest dollar amount that was ever run for a taxi listing. $200,000 for music that they needed, funky rhythmic soul songs, for a TV commercial for a major alcoholic beverage brand. Is that a brand of beverages for people who are alcoholics? I think we could have worded that better. Anyway, so we'll get to that in a moment. I want to start out by saying a couple of odds and ends, let the chat room fill up a little bit. Last week, my wife and I and our youngest daughter went to Orlando to visit our eldest daughter who had a baby 6 weeks ago. So we're in Orlando, and I figure, you know what? There's a taxi member who I don't know very well, but from the little bits that we've met at a road rally and by virtue of the people he hangs out with, I thought, you know what, maybe I'll go meet him for a beer or a coffee or a piece of pie or something. And his name is Terrell Burt. So I called him right before we left and said, you know what, I'm going to try and squeeze in some time to go hang out with you. I've often threatened that to him because I know that I go to Orlando a couple times a year. Unfortunately, with all the family commitments and him having a day gig, I didn't get a chance to see him, but we did exchange several texts. So Terrell, if you watch this, if you're in the chat room or if you watch it in the archive, again, my condolences. I'm bummed that I didn't get to see you. I was genuinely excited to get a chance to get to know you better. So you got a rain check from me. What else do I want to tell you guys? Oh, so where were we? We were at a super Target in Orlando. And I was walking down in an aisle, and a guy locked eyes with me, and I could just tell he had to be somebody that's seen me on Taxi TV, which is ironic because we don't have a very large audience, generally speaking, compared to people who have, hundreds of thousands or millions of viewers. We're not there yet. But this guy went, and you could see, he's like, I know that dude from somewhere. So I thought that was funny. And then about an hour ago, we had a taxi member that called that had a question, and somebody in the staff asked me if I would mind fielding the question, or maybe I volunteered to because I was in the neighborhood. Anyway, and when the member heard my voice, went, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm on the phone with a YouTube star, which I find completely funny because we feel like we're nobody on YouTube, but we're glad to have the fans and the crowd that we do. So now I want to address a more serious issue, something that I've spoken about before, and I can't begin to tell you how bummed out I am about this. But we ran Peter Rahill says I'm a celebrity, face it, only in my own house and maybe here at the office. But thanks, Peter. Anyway, while I was out of town, the staff got a request for a listing from a music supervisor working on a movie, or like a made-for-TV movie thing. And please don't blurt it out if you know what I'm talking about in the chat room. And we got a call. Apparently, I think the staff told me when I got back, they didn't want to bum me out while we were allegedly on vacation. Let's just call it a working vacation, even though we tried really hard not to turn on computers. Anyway, we put the listing out there and then got a call several hours later, maybe the next day. I don't know. The timing doesn't matter all that much, from a very angry music supervisor. And it turns out the music supervisor that people were reaching out to was not the music supervisor on that made-for-TV movie. So apparently some taxi members said, well, you know, I'm special, so I'm going to Google this and figure out who it is and then reach out to that music supervisor. And this apparently people were calling the supervisor saying, I missed the deadline. I'd like to submit the music. And she said, well, what are you talking? How'd you hear about this? And they said, through taxi. So now we have a music supervisor who will probably never run a listing with us. So thank you to you overzealous members who feel special enough to do that. And also because the gentleman who was music supervising, he has music supervised other projects for this network, and they were still looking for a piece of music for a particular slot, and the executive producer of this project reached out to the guy that we know. He ran a listing with Taxi, and so even though technically he wasn't the supervisor on that project, he was contributing music for that particular need. And lo and behold, a Taxi member landed the slot. So we're very happy about that. But I hope that that music supervisor doesn't get in any sort of political trouble, because now the other music supervisor is less than happy about the fact that these people are calling because a company called Taxi is allegedly giving out her information, which we didn't. Anyway, I'm going to find out who did that. I'm going to track you down. I'm going to come and get you while you sleep. It really upsets me. You know, we work so hard to establish relationships. And now the supervisor someday is going to be at a conference or at some gathering of other supervisors. Oh, yeah, I would never work with them because they give out your information, even though we didn't. Mark Plopper says we need to vet our members. Half the people on this list wouldn't be allowed to join. I'm kidding, of course. If we had to give out, if we had to do psychological testing, we would have no members. Anyway, yeah, it was a... Fentamalona says enhanced interrogation techniques. You know, we waterboard the staff every chance we get just to keep them in line, but no, we can't do that to our actual customers. I'm kidding. Bria's over there with her hands over her face going, oh my gosh. We do not waterboard anybody. Right now, I'd like to waterboard some people. Anyway, there you go. So that's that. Onward and upward. How's my level, my volume on your end? I'm trying the microphone in a new position. Want to make sure it sounds good, and then we're going to start listening to some music. Find them, get them in their sleep. That's right, Jesse. Sounds good, level's good, yay. All right. Bria is reminding me. Hold up the signs, click that subscribe button. Really, I would appreciate it if you'd do that. I mean, you know, it's just like right down there and I'm blocking my own part of the screen, but yeah. There it is, right there. Click that red button. While you're at it, click the like button. And if you're feeling really generous, share a video, this video, with a friend. That's assuming you've got some. All right. Let's rock and roll. So I'm going to read you the listing that went out. And by the way, we've had a bunch of people calling today going, I missed the deadline. Why are you guys putting this out there? The deadline was March 16th. I want to submit to this. You got to open your emails. You got to read the emails. People actually thought this was a live listing for today from the promo that we sent out for Taxi TV, even though it clearly is a promo for the show. But the listing did say, funky, rhythmic soul songs with male or female vocals are needed by a top-shelf film, TV, music publisher by noon on Friday, March 16th, for an up to $200,000 non-exclusive placement in a big TV commercial for a major alcoholic beverage brand. Whew, that was a mouthful. And you know what? We're not even going to be able to say for a major alcoholic brand, because now people are going to Google, like Budweiser, Michelob, Johnny Walker, and just, where's your music supervisor? Anyway, they're looking for mid to up-tempo songs that fall in the general stylistic wheelhouse of the songs below. They're not looking for clones or sound-alikes. Please listen to the following references we got from the client to get in the stylistic ballpark of what they want. And the references were Abracadabra by Judith Hill, not Abracadabra by Steve Miller, not the same song at all, and Tightrope by Janelle Monáe featuring Big Boy. Both of those, well, I'm just going to read the listing. Note, our educated guess is that the rhythmic aspects of the two references share must be an important clue as to why they were chosen. And while we can't guarantee this would be the winning combination, if we were pitching a song for this commercial, it's just us, we'd have a very prominent funk beat with a killer bass part, a tight rhythm section, a very soulful vocal, and lyrics that would work well in the context of an ad for an alcoholic beverage. In other words, lyrics about love or relationships probably wouldn't work. Lyrics about going out, having fun, partying all night, etc. might be more in the ballpark. Makes sense, right? We're guessing that the classier side of that concept is what they're after, not spring break style partying. You probably shouldn't be over the top with those lyric concepts, though. Think positive, fun, getting together with friends, going out for a good time. You know what you got to do, right? Creating a rhythmic breakdown or middle eight might be a nice touch, but it's not a requisite, just an idea. Some cool horn parts might add a nice flavor, but we wouldn't suggest making them the standout feature. Just a little salt and pepper if you catch our drift. Hint, it's like squeezing lime in a beer. Being close to the BPM of the references could be a smart move. Why? Okay, I'm ad-libbing right now. Getting close to the BPM of the references is a good idea because oftentimes the commercials are fully edited when they really get serious about the music. So a lot of times they will edit, especially stuff like this that's rhythmic and funky. They will edit somewhat, if not entirely, to the beat of the music. So if they had a song that they tempt in and the deal falls apart, they're going to be looking for something else that is on the same BPM so that they don't have to re-edit the whole spot. Just my 2 cents as a retired audio post-engineer. Lyrics that do not have specific names, dates, times, places, brands, or profanity should serve you well for this pitch. Do not copy the reference artists or songs in any way, shape, or form. Use them only as a general guide for tempo, tone, and overall vibe. Broadcast quality is needed. The estimated license fee. The reason we always say estimated is they tell us, but we don't want to lock them in 100%. Sometimes they may use something for a little shorter period of time that they thought they were going to, or something that they thought was going to be upfront and featured now gets moved to the background and it pays differently. So we say the estimated license fee for this use is up to $200,000, depending on the ultimate placement. This publisher offers a non-exclusive 50-50 deal. You'll get 50% of the sync fee and 100% of the writer share. The publisher will get 50% of the sync fee and 100% of the publisher share. You'll keep 100% of the original copyright and master. You must own or control your master and copyright to submit for this. Note, we suspect that if your song is licensed for this commercial, the ad agency will ask that you don't license it for any other TV spots while theirs is airing, and that's standard procedure. Oh, I even said that in the listing. Please submit as many songs as you'd like online or per CD. All submissions will be screened on a yes-no basis by a screener who is handpicked by the publisher. Short critiques only. Submissions must be received no later than noon on Friday, March 16th. Notice it said noon. We had quite a few people that blew that, and they're calling, why can't I submit later? Sometimes we just can't extend it, It's like the world doesn't stop because the dog ate your homework. You need to get another dog. So what we're going to do today is we're going to play you, I don't know, like one of the things, I'm not going to tell you how many were forwarded out of this batch, but I will tell you that we're going to play you 11 pieces of music today. And I want you guys to then tell me which ones you think were forwarded. I've got to think about this. Do we want to have you do it at the end? Now, I guess we might as well go with the regular forward or return thing, right? Because if we make people wait till the end to vote, they'll forget what they heard in the beginning. So I do want to mention that one of the pieces that was a forward is from somebody in Australia. We have not been able to get a hold of that person to get permission to play it on the show. So we are not going to play one of the forwards. So without any further ado, we are going to play you, I'm going to not go in order. I'm going to mix it up because that's the kind of guy I am. All right, let's start with number 6, which is called Funky Friday. Let's have a listen to that. There's a 60 hertz hum in that thing. That was it. That was the end. And there's the applause. Okay, so cast your votes. If you would forward that, type in a +1. If you would not forward that, if you would return that, do a -1. I'm curious to see how you guys vote. In the end, we will tell you if you voted with the screener or not. So cast your votes. I also noticed somebody a minute ago was talking about talked about how great Taxi is today to Apple employees when I was in the Apple store. Finally ordered a solid state drive computer. Yeah, it makes a world of difference. Solid state drive's awesome. And I got to admit to something I used to do when in the early days of Taxi, any promotion I could do, I would do. I would go into the Apple store and put every single computer in the place to the Taxi homepage, and then go stand in a corner and watch, see how many people spent time watching or looking at the homepage for Taxi. And then I'd go walk up to him and say, "So you're a musician, eh?" That was a long time ago. Where are those votes? There they are.
Oh, coming in very quickly for me. Okay, there we go.
There's Lou Lewis, Carl Wurzbach, the JN Music, Linda Cullum. Linda Cullum did the same thing for apps on sailing. Atta girl. Mojo is in the house. Patrick Adams. All right, I think voting is done, and by scrolling back up, I would say it was overwhelmingly not a forward. Okay, so
It was 4 to 45.
Wow, okay. 4 to 45. All right. Now let's listen to number 12, please.
Or are you going to say if it was a forward or
Not yet.
Oh, not yet. Okay.
Nope, I'm going to keep these guys in suspense. Lay Down Sally.
Working glass behind Mexico. Send your dogs, you can let them dig, but even God don't know where the body's hid. Where the body's hid. Bucket of bleach on the bathroom floor. Back the jacket and the boots I wore. Covered my tracks to the backyard fence. Set fire to the rest of the evidence. Back in the woods where nobody goes, across the border down to Mexico. Send your dogs, you can let them dig, but even God don't know where the body's hid. Where the body's hid. Deep ravine off the western ridge, dumped in the river from the Brooklyn Bridge. Edge of the strip underneath the sand. Middle of the swamp down in Dixieland. In the rousing folds of the attic space, a shallow grave up the interstate. Sunk to the bottom of the ocean, deep in a hole somewhere under wet concrete.
After the solo.
Back in the woods where nobody goes, across the border down to Mexico.
All right, fade that one because it was pretty long. So cast your votes. +1 if you would forward it for funky rhythmic soul songs with male or female vocals needed by a top shelf film, TV, music publisher by noon on Friday for an up to $200,000 non-exclusive placement in a big TV commercial for a major alcoholic beverage brand. Whew. Sorry if I'm sitting here like a bump on a log staring. I love watching the votes come in. Okay, while Bria's totaling, I'm going to go adjust my air conditioning. Even though I got a brand new thermostat, it still works like crap. I'm back.
Unanimously -1s.
Okay. All right. Not a forward, according to you guys. Neil McTavish says, sounded like Dire Straits. It did. It's kind of like a blues, rocky Dire Straits thingy. I kind of liked it. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Let us listen to number 8, which is called Deja Vu. Remember the mention of horns?
Sun coming down oh so quickly. Silhouette of the city. Streetlights turn on sequentially. Deja Vu, it's up to you. Do what you wanna do. Party into the night. Deja Vu, it's up to you. Do what you wanna do. If it feels alright.
Invitation to a party. Looks like it already started. No time to regret. What hasn't happened yet? Step out onto the floor. Try not to get too hot. Move your hips, give it a shake. Show me what you got. You don't need big pockets to get by. Little give in the moment before it passes by. You don't need big pockets to get by. Little give in the moment. Deja vu.
All right, that was Deja Vu. Cast your votes. +1 if you would forward it for this, not just in general if you like it, but would you forward it for this listing? And -1 if you would not. I'm very curious. The votes are pouring in. I love watching you guys vote. I love when you guys get it right. It means that you're learning something. Votes are still coming in. Piano, guitar, voice teacher, neutral. I don't know. That's funny. Okay, how'd they score?
So I had 8 +1s and 48 -1s.
Okay, so sorry, 48 or 41?
48.
Wow. So 8 to 48. So you guys say that would not get a forward. And I'm not going to tell you until the end of the show. I want to keep you in suspense. That was a cool tune. I like that. Personally liked it. There were parts of it that I liked better than some sections, better than others. I saw other people making that comment. A lot of potential in that song, I think, in my humble opinion. Okay, let us move on to number 5, which is called Apples.
she gave me. There's something in a way that says she'll save me so bravely. I take my first bite, the world spins around and I lose my sight. So I'm hoping that gravity will find me and put me on the ground and then unwind me and remind me not to eat again. But when I look into her eyes, my whole life will spin with the apples. I'm hanging out with the apples. Yeah, nah. And now there's something in my ribs that's aching. When she looked into my eyes, wasn't real or faking. I'm making too much of this, but there was something in her apple that I simply can't resist. I insist on a list of ingredients, cause there was something in her apple that makes me think obedience. I pledge allegiance like the snake in which she charmed. She tries to act defenseless, but she's clever and well armed with the apples. Yeah, nah. I'm hanging out with the apples. Yeah, nah. I think I'm gonna have a breakdown. I wanted the sky to beg your pardon. Do you know the way back? But if you do, don't tell me now. I want another snack. I can't believe my mind's been shaking, moving black to white, to back to front, to clean this mess I'm making. Mistaken my heart from my mind, cause when I ask myself a question, multiple choices, what I find I designed a method to be free, but I threw it out the window, cause I just wanna be with the apples. Yeah, I'm hanging out with the apples. I'm hanging out with the apples. Yeah, nah. I'm hanging out with the apples. Yeah, nah.
Notice how much closer the audience is to the microphone this week. All right, cast your votes. +1 if you would forward that, -1 if you would not. I saw somebody said it'd be great if we had more specifics or something. I can't remember. But again, I'm going to go back for those of you who weren't here in the earlier part of the show, that we got a call from an outraged music supervisor the other day. Some taxi members decided to Google. We had some information in a listing. They were able to Google and figure out who they thought was the music supervisor, and it wasn't. And the lady called and said that she had gotten 4 or 5 phone calls or emails, and that the people were saying, yeah, I got your information from Taxi, which they clearly did not. And so now we have one very ticked off music supervisor who will never run listings with Taxi, and she'll probably tell other people, don't do it. So we actually have to now get even more strict about the information that we can put in the listings. It's heartbreaking. So whoever said that, yeah, I agree. I wish that there was more stuff that we could divulge, but we have to be really careful because people only think of themselves sometimes and screw it up for everybody else. Yes, one bad apple won't ruin the bunch. Well, in this case,
Sorry, lost the chat.
Call Steve Barden in the FBI. I don't think Steve works for the FBI. Okay, so that was apples. I'm going to cross that off my list.
Sorry, give me 1 second.
Okay. Bria's tabulating over there. Incredible drumming in that. There's a lot of great stuff in that.
Okay, that one was 31 plus 1 and 22 minus 1.
Okay, so you guys would have forwarded that one. You know what? Can we go back for 1 second, Bria, to number 8, Deja Vu? And I'm going to show you guys something very interesting. Fast forward about 30 seconds in.
A visual symphony. Step out onto the street to find something more.
Maybe this wasn't the one I was thinking of. Was Deja Vu the last one we listened to?
Yes.
Never mind. There was something we listened to today, and I remember thinking if you turn the volume way down, there was something that would have stuck out like crazy. And I thought it was that one, but I think I was incorrect. Anyway, okay, moving on. So let us go to number 2, which is called Bushwick. Okay, cast your votes. +1 if you would forward, -1 if you would not. I saw several of you talking about the fact that this it sounded retro, sounded like the 70s maybe. I went through, I could be missing it, but I don't see anything in the listing that says contemporary. I could just be missing it, but I don't think that I am. And just throwing this out there as an aside while you guys are voting. I think that there are more opportunities for retro sounding stuff or vintage. The difference is retro sounding means that it's got influences from something back in the day. Vintage means it was actually recorded. For instance, somebody was saying 1972. So vintage means it was actually recorded back then. Retro means that it was recorded recently but made to sound old-ish, or has aspects of it that are old-ish sounding. But I've been noticing there are a lot of TV commercials out there that seem to be liking the juxtaposition of having old stuff. Sometimes it just works well. It's a famous, not Cinzano, one of the other brands of, what's the other brand? Not Cinzano, one of the, what do you call that stuff you mix with gin to make a martini? Somebody help me, you can tell I drink a lot. Whatever. I know that for a while when Deb and I would go to the movies, they were running a commercial for a brand of whatever that stuff is called. Vermouth, thank you. All the heavy drinkers are chiming in. There was a brand of vermouth, and they had these really cool commercials, like with old Chris Craft boats in them, probably in one of the Greek Isles, women in very like 1960s fashion with 60s haircuts. And the music was always superb. There were like 3 different cuts of that commercial. And this could have made it into that series of stuff. Neil McTavish says he's drinking vodka. I love it. What is it about this show that makes people want to drink? Yes, my trusty sidekick is laughing at that. Okay, I'm sorry. What number was that song?
That was number 2.
That was number 2. How did they vote?
9 plus 1's 44 minus 1's.
Okay, so you guys would not have forwarded that. Okay, moving on. Let's listen to number 4, which is called Refill, which seems perfect for a commercial about an alcoholic beverage.
On your call, feeling on your kiss, I need a refill. Give me a refill, babe. It's been too long since I felt like this. Waiting on your call, feeling on your kiss, I need a refill. Give me a refill, babe. However, we love, baby. kiss, I need a refill. Give me a refill, baby. It's been too long since I felt like this. Waiting on your call, feeling on your kiss, I need a refill. Give me a refill, baby.
Oh, hold on. Play that in one more time. I think it's not working. I'm trying to play a burp sound effect. Damn. Just when I thought I had the perfect sound effect. What is going on with my little sound effect? Oh, that one's working. Nope. Okay. Anyway, cast your votes. +1 if you would forward that. -1 if you would not. And I love the fact that we were talking about the romantic mood that may happen at the McTavish residence tonight while Priya's sitting there. Don't be playing that song next time you go home. That was called Refill. Okay. Oh my God, I can't believe some of the stuff people say in this chat room. Good thing there aren't any kids around. I don't mean you. I mean like real kids. I'm not turning red, believe me. I did. I broke my burp. Hey, look, it's got...
Oh, that's what you were trying to find.
Yeah. Look, there's a little burp dude down there. Whoa, talk about turning red. Whoa, my colors were changing like crazy. All right. Mark Plopper says, is it possible none of these got forwarded? Don't know, Mark. We're going to have to find out. Oh, man, I'm not even going to repeat some of the stuff I've seen in the chat room. For those of you who don't watch the... Well, now you can see the chat in the archive version on YouTube, so I guess you get to see that stuff. My eye is flickering. Don't you hate that? Okay, that was called Refill. How did we do?
So I had 6 +1s and 50 -1s.
Have you been giving me the numbers in that same order? Oh, you're keeping track. Okay, because I'm writing them down. 6 and 50. Okay. All right. Moving on. Let's listen to number 9, which is called After the Tone.
Shake up all the fight in the fight of the night. Shake out
So much for being a family show.
You can call and apologize.
Whoa.
You got too many second times. They ain't got respect. They know what's coming next. Don't put it up with it. We are just taking if they done you wrong. Baptize me for this song. Please, one final note on the message.
Sorry.
Whoa, baby. For those of you who were paying attention, yes, there was a little profanity in that one, which would pretty much automatically disqualify it. Other than that, had some cool stuff going on. Cast your votes. Curious to see. With this crowd, they'll probably say they should still put it in the commercial. No, people don't read the listings, Marion. It's amazing. If you could just answer the phone or answer emails here for one day, you would just be in shock. I've wanted to say that phrase on the show 1,000 times. Never had the courage. That was after the tone. Okay. The votes are still pouring in. I do still have a lot of hair on my head. Thank you, Paul. Okay.
Okay.
All right. What's the total?
So I have 6 would forward,
Okay.
and 46 would not.
All right. So that would, you guys say, is not a forward. Gee, and I wonder why. It was a cool song. I mean, everything we're hearing today, there's nothing that's been like sucky, right? It's all pretty cool stuff. Okay, moving on. Let's listen to number 10, Don't Give Up.
Don't give up, no matter what she says to you. Don't give up, she may not really want you to. Don't give up, if you do it means you never care. Don't give up, if you do it means you're running scared. She might not read your letters, she may throw them all away. And when she sees you coming, she may turn and walk away. She might not hear you yelling when you call out a name, but she could just be pretending. So don't give up, no matter what she says to do. Don't give up.
Gotta say, I like the drums, the toms,
Don't give up.
the sound of
If you
them.
do it means you never care. Don't give up. If you do it means you're running scared. She may act like you're not there. She may just walk away. She may hurt your feelings, but she may decide to stay. She could be really wanting you. You just never know. Might just be her funny way, letting you know that she's available. I say available. Don't give up, no matter what she says to you. Don't give up, she may not really want you to. everybody's scared. She could be really wanting you, but you just never know. It might just be her funny way of letting you know that she's available. I say available. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up.
Really cool sounds. Hey, back in my day, all fades were 30 seconds. It's like, look, I can do a 30-second fade, and I always tried to make like the last cool guitar lick on the outro be the last thing you'd hear before it'd go away. Leave them wanting more. Yeah, I don't know. If I were working in studios today, I don't know if I could actually make records anymore because I'm just a fade kind of guy. Okay, wow, look at that. You guys are already casting your votes without instruction. And this is why I love you so much. You guys don't need instruction. You're with the program. Christos, you got to use a number, dude. There was some really cool, I don't know if you guys could hear it or not, but there was some really cool little parts in that I thought were kind of cool. It's funny, some people are saying, you know, sounded more like rock. Some people are saying, I thought it was kind of, it had some funk to it. I got to tell you, for my money, the funkiest member we may have, at least that I'm familiar with. Oh gosh, he's been on the show. From Phoenix. Why can't collects old cars? Can't think of his name. He's a good friend. We got to dinner. He's on Taxi TV like once a year. Anyway, that dude has the funkiest chicken picking right hand.
Richard Dance.
Richard Dance. Thank you. If I were still making records and I needed, he's just an amazing guitar player. He could literally walk into a session with the best in the business and hold his own. He's amazingly good. Crawdaddy, yeah, that's his nickname, is Crawdaddy. All right.
Okay. So I have 3 said that they would forward it, and 54 said that they would not.
Okay. Now that the voting is done, the mix on that was a little disjointed. Okay, listen to number 11, please. When I Get to Call You Girl. Probably get in trouble for that nowadays.
Got no time in my favor. I've done 100 miles, baby. But when I get to you, girl, and gotta get to you, girl. Gonna lick my wounds like a warrior. Gonna sing the songs, oh yeah. And when there's nothing I won't do. I will give you all I have just so I can prove I'm trying with everything I do. But there's no one else for me, girl, I gotta get you. Tell me what you got, you. Tell me what you got, you. Tell me what you got, you. When I get to you, baby. Tell me what you got, you. Tell me what you got, you. Tell me what you got, you. When I get to you, I gotta get to me. I gotta get to me. Tell me what you got, you. When I get to you, girl. Tell me what you got, you. Tell me what you got, you. Tell me what you got, you. When I get to you, girl.
Almost missed my key. Do you know how many submissions we had for this?
Oh, I can find out for
Okay.
you. It was, I think, 124.
It was a fairly short deadline as well, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was When I Get to You, Girl. You guys casting your votes. +1 if you would forward it, -1 if you would not. And we're back to talking about drinking. There's a surprise. I really wish that I was like allergic to alcohol or whatever. We went to a Passover Seder, one Friday night, one Saturday night, and we are forced to drink wine, 4 cups of wine. And Friday night I stuck to grape juice, woke up with a sugar hangover on Saturday. What you need? What?
It's okay, nothing's
I woke up with a raging headache on Saturday morning. Of course, I went to bed at 4 a.m. because we were out till like 1:30 in the morning. And man, oh man, it's funny when you consume a lot of sugar, you can get a headache. So I drank wine on Saturday night, did much better.
124. I was right.
124 submissions? Okay, so 124 submissions, which is not bad for some. I think this was only out for a couple of days. I think. Okay, When I Get to You, Girl. Bria is now tallying. Thank you for the happy Passover and happy Easter to all you guys. Unless if Neil says, that sounds like Methodist Passover, grape juice. Normally, if I drink anything, I am the cheapest date in the world. I can do like 1 shot of tequila. I love certain kinds of alcohol. Really, really, really like it. But we do a round of shots in the conference room when somebody has a birthday or something like that, and I just feel like crap. Alcohol does not agree with me.
Got it.
Okay, and the numbers on that one are?
6 said they would forward, and 45 said they would not.
Okay, 6 would forward, 45 would not. I love the title of this one. Number 7 is called Listen, Learn, Then Delete. Let's have a listen, then learn, and then delete.
Don't need anyone to give me rules.
Delete. I got it. All right, cast your votes. +1 if you would forward, -1 if you would not. There's stuff I want to say, but I don't want to influence the voting. Unlike the Russians, right? There's my big political joke of the year right there. Ooh, look at those +1s rolling in. Anybody watching Homeland this year? Really good episode last night. Speaking of the Russians, that's the plot line for this year. What else? Oh, Billions. Also another great show. Okay. Electric Guitar Woman says she loves Homeland. Claire Danes, she almost doesn't have to say a word. That woman is such a tremendously good actress. It's mind-blowing to me. Nobody, Polly says, Michael, are your screeners' computers safe from being hacked by Putin? I don't think anything is safe from being hacked anywhere, but Mojo says the Americans is back. Incorrect. Well, yeah, I know why it's bad. I couldn't get into that series. I know people love it. It's just one of those weird things. I watched it. I watched like the first 4 episodes, and it just didn't click for me. Do I take the same drugs as Carrie does in the show? No, but it would be fun to try, wouldn't it? Oh, just so you know, for those of you who are interested, the church, which is used in Westworld, is actually about 3 miles from the Lascaux residence. So we go for the occasional picnic on the front lawn of the fake church that they use in Westworld. Linda Cullum says she's watched Billions due to my recommendation. And, was that right? Okay, and the numbers are...
So 41 people would forward it.
And this was for listen, learn, and delete, right?
Yes.
41 forwards.
And then 12 would return.
12 would return. Okay, we've got one more to go. Can you check your emails, see if the person from Australia got back to you? Mm-hmm. I'm just dying to know. Okay. Alrighty then. This one is called Authentic. Let's have a listen.
Looking for something authentic. Tired of settling for gimmicks. I think I know where to look, 'cause I know you and me are fire. We don't wear no disguises. We know deep down we're alright. And all we need is a good attitude and 1 or 2 to spare. And don't need any plans tonight, but gonna make 'em right as we're going. But don't need any night tonight. We got the night inside, we're gonna follow. Ooh, baby, when I'm with you, we're authentic. Nothing to hide, but just straight up radiant. No built-up and no denying it, baby. Oh, when I'm with you, we're authentic. No mystery, 'cause we're straight up radiant. Perfectly authentic. Come with me. Brilliant. We're gonna be there with the realest. Legit, the fresh makers take off all those fake Vegas, baby. I'm so hungry for the real thing. We won't settle for the counterfeit. But don't be afraid of the truth you're gonna find inside of you, baby. Don't need any place tonight. We're gonna make it right up as we're going.
thinker. Cast your votes. +1 for a forward, -1 if you would not. It's times like this I wish I could tell a joke. Look at you guys blazing those in there. Man, it's scrolling by faster than a stock ticker following a Donald Trump tweet. Bada boom, there's my second political joke of the day. And not even saying anything bad about Donald Trump, just remarking about the power of the tweet. That's right, Ray Hill. Yesterday was the day for jokes. Didn't I see you post one in Success Stories? I looked at the forum for the first time in a few days yesterday, and I think, was that you that posted that? Somebody posted about $1 million placement. 3 men and a nun walked into a bar. Okay. So late vote. Was there a mistake in the listing? In what regard? Ray Hill says, yes, I punked many family and friends with that one. Good job, Peter. Linda Cullum says she told everybody at her condo place there was a bear trapped inside the tennis court. That was barely even funny. Okay.
Right. So 47 said they would forward, 6 said they would not.
47 said they would forward, 6 said they would not. Okay, so Bria, let's play them. The two, there were 3 forwards out of 124 submissions. Let's play them, and one of them we can't play because somebody from Australia wouldn't get back to us or hasn't gotten back to us giving permission to play it because it wasn't marked as public on that person's profile. So let's play that one first, one of the 2 forwards. Okay, that was a forward. And none of us actually know what the hell Bushwick is. Is it a beer? Is it a town? Is it somebody that can't pronounce bushwhack? We don't know what the hell. And the next one that was forwarded was...
Looking for something authentic, tired of settling for gimmicks. I think I know where to look, 'cause I know you and me are fire. We don't wear no disguises, we know deep down we're alright. And all we need is a good attitude and one or two to stare in. Don't need any place tonight, we're gonna make it right as we go.
there you go. So the two forwards were, in fact, Bushwick and Authentic. And I got to say, I can actually, as somebody who used to do post and work on commercials every day, I personally would think that Bushwick is a contender. Obviously not the part that says Bushwick. And yeah, you know, you are greatly limiting your chances of getting used when you have a name in something, because some people toss out, say, I can't use it. And people might say, well, why wouldn't you use another section of the song that doesn't have the name in it? If people get that far, yeah, if they get that far when they're listening. But there was something about it. It was very retro, very cool, and I could see it working in an alcoholic beverage commercial. And the last one we heard, Authentic, I think is a slam dunk. I mean, I haven't seen the video on the spot, but I think that song was really, really, really well done and lends itself very well to alcohol. All right, we are actually ahead of schedule today. I don't have any ideas. I would, if you guys want to email, what's the email address? TaxiTV?
TaxiTV@taxi.com.
TaxiTV@taxi.com. I was thinking we have some new screeners, and I thought maybe about getting one of the new screeners on the show next week, or a screener period. I've gotten some emails from people that want me to bring back Brooke Ferry. She's always a pleasure to be around. We just had her on the show like a month ago, I think. And as long as we've still got 6 minutes left, rather than bugging out early, if you guys have any Q&A stuff you want to hit me with, I'll take a few questions before we sign off today. Man, I really want to hear what that third song played for me after the show. Neil McTavish says, great show as always. Why, thank you, Neil. You don't have to be nice, but thank you. How many pieces? 124 pieces of music, songs were submitted for this show. Linda Cullum says, we can educate the new screeners. We've got some really good ones. We had an A&R meeting this morning. We were talking about the new screeners. They're doing a great job. Not just great people with good taste, but giving really good feedback, very enthusiastic about what they're doing, passionate about giving good feedback, which we like. Bring back Rob Shirelli. He's tough to get these days. I'm telling you, we were just texting each other yesterday. He is so busy. Skadika says, is that the normal amount of submissions? All depends on the listing. It depends what the genre is, what the timeline is for submissions. Is it instrumental? Is it songs? There's so many variables, so there's no normal. How many new screeners? Off the top of my head, I want to say 4. I think that sounds about right. 3 got forwarded out of 124. No, we are not gatekeepers. We are gate openers. Think about that. How many screeners do you employ? We don't employ any. They are independent contractors. At any given time, we have between 40 or 50 that are currently working, I would say. Oh, Ronan Chris Murphy. You know what? I don't know that I can get him in a week. But I would love to have Ronan come back. I love that guy. Based on the horror story you related early in the show where a member contacted a music supervisor, what's your advice on contacting music supervisors directly? Well, what I don't want people doing is taking information they see in a listing, Googling stuff, guessing that they've got the right person, then reaching out to a music supervisor who actually wasn't the music supervisor that ran the listing, and they really pissed off this lady to the point where she called us and apparently was yelling at staff, at some of my staff members here. So, Michael, is your Sari still talking to you in the middle of the night? I don't get it, Jesse.
Siri? Maybe tell you what your Amazon
You thinking
Alexa
of my
is?
Alexa?
'Cause he doesn't have.
Let's see. Review of taxi members' music is always helpful. I love listening to taxi member music. Hey Google. I got Hey Google on my phone. Siri. How important are lyrics for submissions? Lyrics are really important. You know what? A bad lyric is not going to work. How many drummers does it take to screw in a light bulb? I don't know, Robbie. How many? It's true. Anybody can read our listings in Google names, but in this case, people actually reference taxi, which happens. I mean, we've had cases where people who weren't members said, I got your contact information from taxi, which they didn't. That's what really upset the supervisor, was people told the supervisor that they got the contact information from us. We didn't even know this woman existed. We didn't have her contact information. We certainly didn't give it out. How many drummers does it take screwing a light? It was drummers, right? Yeah, screwing a light bulb, 5. 1 to do it, 4 to stand around talk about how much Neil Peart can do it better. That's great. Yeah, they shouldn't claim to be taxi members. People do screwed up stuff. No, I haven't talked to the supervisor. It's angry with us. Frankly, I don't even know if she'd take a call. I just found out about this a few hours ago. I was out of town all last week. And she is not a new customer. She's never going to be a customer. We have to work really hard to turn that one around. Yeah, the staff assured her that we don't give out personal information. You know, sometimes people get upset about something and they're not going to back off their position. Supervisors are not going to take the time to say, can I please have your member number? They're not in the business of being the music business police. Question, Michael, since my 2 young boys watch the show with me, could you be a little more careful on the occasional cuss words? Love you. Honestly, 7 years, I think I've only sworn twice on the show. And frankly, we didn't catch that lyric. We're sorry about that. What?
That was on me.
Oh, Bria says that was on her.
I should have seen it.
Sometimes stuff slips through. Sorry. It's not like we've got a 9-second delay. What do you get when you throw a piano down a mine shaft? A flat minor. There we go. Oh, man.
That's a good one. Does the
volume
yeah,
have to
that
be
one.
as loud as the references? You know what? Yeah, volume should always be healthy and not distorted. I mean, people sit around using mathematical formulas on, you know, what your level should be. The bottom line is, if somebody is sitting there listening to music and auditioning stuff, and this one's at a certain level, that one's at a certain level, and next one's at a certain level, and the fourth one is wimpy, most people won't take the time, believe it or not, in my experience from watching them in like A&R meetings at labels and stuff, they won't lean over and turn up the volume knob, or nowadays do it on their computer, and it just sounds wimpy by comparison. They just move on. Linda Collins says, thank you for all your work, Michael. You're welcome, Linda. Happy birthday, Stephen. Yes, happy birthday, whoever Stephen is. That's piano, guitar, voice teacher. Mojo Bone says, figure out how loud stupid loud is, then don't do it. Paulie says, his moonshine glass is now empty. All right. Anyway, we are done. Remember, send suggestions. I want to come up with something cool that we haven't done, or at least haven't done in a long time, for next week's show. Oh, we are going to try. We got a newer, better version of the software that we use to broadcast the show. So didn't want to try it today and install it because I was out of town last week. Don't want to install it right before the show and then have it melt down. So hopefully next week we will have the newer, better version. And in the coming weeks, we'll probably be able to deal with audio in one form or another. I'm trying to work out a solution where we can play audio directly into the feed. I know it sounds easy, but it's really not. And what else do I want to tell you? Oh, we will be able to have remote guests come on the show with a split screen. And rumor has it we have a new background coming for the studio. When that will be arriving, we do not know, but we're working on that too. So with that, I bid you all a fond farewell. It's been fun thinking and drinking with you. Thanks for watching. See you next week for another exciting episode of Taxi TV Live. Bye, you guys.